Hello and welcome to another episode. Now, you know where I left you off last week. Now this week I've got the bonnet back up and I've clamped all these down. So I've clamped all that down again, all the back's clamped up, all the sides are clamped up and all the front's clamped up. Let me show you what I've noticed. So obviously last week I told you that they, well, let me get the thing. So last week I told you about this. Now that doesn't really want to go down and I'm struggling to get that wing down. It shows it seats down a little bit better. I don't know why, but let me show you the gaps. So that gap, really nice. The only thing I've noticed is that they don't match up. I don't know why yet. So I might have to unclamp all this front end and re-clamp it up. That thing sits nice. And over here, I've clamped that down and that sits nice now. So that's pushed that right down. So really happy with that. Down at this front bit. It's nice, those two match up. So that's really nice that that does that. Everything's okay, apart from those two little issues. The wing going down like that, and that not matching up. That wing's right. I'm not doing any more with that wing. That wing's right. Everything about that's right. So the bonnet is right. Obviously I'm going to put some Tech screws down here, screw it down, and then make sure that's a little bit better, and then I can Tech screw that down and get that bonnet closed down a bit and see if that bonnet's in the same spot. If it's in the same spot, then I'm going to start cutting up that scuttle panel ready for welding in. It's time. So hopefully we'll have a bit of movement on this car and we'll sort of start getting these panels welded in. Should be good fun. Good news, I found it. It wasn't that hard to find. So that's the bung. It looks like some sort of hose. So it's like a hose and it's just been it just goes over like that. I'm not going to tighten them on, but it's not doing it anymore. So I'm alright with that now. So when I come to it, those things, those fit in there, and obviously those screw the ECU on. So I knew where all this were. I just had to find it, that's all. I'm really happy that I've found it. So once I've done what I'm doing, I can that in there. And luckily none of this is ripped, so it's not perished or anything like that. It being rubber, you know, that looks really good, that. I suppose you could get some airline, you know, like for a compressor, you get some airline and some that thick and just cut it up. It's pretty much just rubber. Right, wish me luck. Back again. This is another weekend, but still part of the other 2 weekends that I've been working on this front end. I think I've had enough of trying to set it up now. I think I'm just gonna have to go with what I've got. Every time I move something, something moves somewhere else. You know, you've probably seen it all before. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna show you where I'm gonna leave it now. Right, so I've got that as close to there and I've screwed it all down. Messing about with it, I've brought that in. So that's fixed that area. So those two look really similar. If I knock that in, if I knock that in a little bit, that tab I'm talking about. So if I knock that tab in a bit, I think I'll get it. It's because I'm using a non-genuine part panel. But I've screwed all those in. So I put some screws in there. Now, what I've noticed is that when I've took that wing back off, I've got that gap better there. But what it's done, it's brought it out there. Can you see it just sticking out a little bit there? I don't know. You know, I've compromised. I've either got a compromise there or I've got a compromise there. I don't know. That side, brilliant. Around both of those there, brilliant. I'll try and film it this time because before I didn't get it right good before. I might just have a play with that. So that looks different to that. As I said, that side looks tighter than that side. Hopefully I'm filming it right. Yeah, you see it just looks a bit wider. But I'm moving it backwards and forwards, and sometimes it's doing something, sometimes it's not. So let me put bonnet down. Right, so I've got that gap in there. and I've got that gap in there. Now they look very good, but what it's done, it's made a gap bigger there than it has there. That gap there, so we've got that gap there, and I could be playing with this all the time, and I think that there is a point where you say, right, I can't do it any better. I can't do it, I can't get it any better than what it is. It's as if the front ends sort of wants it's going over that way a bit. You know, I've got that to where it is. That bonnet is better on that side. See how the bonnet matches up. And when we come along here, it's as if the bonnet wants to go back a bit. In fact, before I do anything, I'm going to undo the bolts and just see if it'll go back a bit. I think that's what I'll do. Give me a minute. Right, I think I've got it back to where it were before. So when you look along there now, that bonnet is in the same spot. I think when I put that wing back on, I didn't push it far enough in. So I think that is the best I can do. That is the best I can do. That's the best I can do. I've got that gap in a bit better now. The only thing is that that is closer. Those two panels are closer than that. Seems to have like a. It's really nice there, but then when it gets to about here, it sticks up in air. It does there a little bit, but not as much as that side. It's as if the bonnet. I don't know what I did then, but that sort of made that gap bigger. it's made it better there. I don't know, I think the bonnet, it's like you have to manhandle everything. You have to manhandle everything everywhere just to get the thing to fit. Now, so I've got that to a compromise. If I could show you, it's a bit squeezy in here. So it's just sticking out a little bit there. Something else I need to show you as well. So I think that gap is the same all along. So the bonnet's a bit further back at both sides. They're not The only thing I can say is that what's really annoying me is that where you've got that there, that's not the same. So it's as if that fits it, that fits perfectly, but that is fit, it needs to be over that way a bit. I haven't got a clue. That sits perfect, so where that teardrop is, sits perfect, and that one is about, what, 2 mil that way. It's weird. I don't know whether I should say, right, I've had enough now, it's time to get it all welded on. If anybody thinks that they'd accept that, you know, at the end of the day it's a Mini and they were never right in the first place, but if anybody in the comments thinks that, yeah, I think it's time to go, I don't think you're going to get it any better than that, please comment away, because I'm at a point where it's messing with my mind. I haven't got a clue whether I should go with it or whether I shouldn't go with it. You know, I've spent a lot of hours trying to make sure that this front end's okay, and it's to a, you know, a good quality. See, I can see something wrong now. See, in that left hand corner, that wing looks like it's stuck further up than that one. You know, it may be that I need to put that clamp back on. That tech screw's not holding it down enough. I don't know. So if anybody could give us a pointer or something like that and say, you know what, just weld it on, or have another couple of hours playing with it, that'll be brilliant. I'm not sure where the video is at this point, but I'm going to leave it here now. I'm going to see if anybody comments back to me, and then I'm probably going to weld that in. So hopefully on the next one I'm sorting that scuttle out, so I'm going to take everything off and then I'm going to start welding scuttle in, because obviously I've got all the you know, the closing panels for the scuttle. So I've got the scuttle to cut out, make sure I've measured it properly, window to window, bottom to top, and then I've got I'm going to spray the what do you call it, the top of the bulkhead and the underneath of the scuttle panel. So I'm going to weld all that and just use aerosols, but when I'm actually painting it I'll rub it all down again. But you know, like with painting up into that top, I'll never be able to do that. So if I'm going to buy some aerosols and I'm just going to aerosol it and see what it looks like, and then when I come to paint it properly I'll rub it all back down again and paint it with base and clear. Alright, so I'll see you on the next one anyway. Alright, cheers, thanks for watching.